G'day and welcome back to my channel, and this is another one of my Finding Airfix Rare Kits videos, if you know what that spells out. And you might be saying, oh, hang on Harry, you've done the Airfix 172nd bloody e-boat before. And yes, I have. You'd be absolutely correct. The thing is though, Airfix didn't only make this, they made some other fast attack boats, also 1/72nd scale. So you think, oh great, they're going to be lovely big kits as well, because this is huge. This is about half a metre long. Yeah, it is huge. It is a big box. So okay, what do we get? Well, there's a Vosper and there's a rescue launch, and they're just over a foot. Yeah, they're not as long, they're not as big. So are they as good? I mean, are these old kits still worth doing, even though they're sort of tiny by comparison? Well, I think so. And in this video, I'm going to look at both the Vosper and I'm going to look at the R.A.F. rescue launch. Let's see what you get for your money with these lovely old kits. As always, a big shout out to my Patreons and my YouTube members, because without them, there wouldn't be the funds for me to find these kits and present them to you. So, big thank you guys. If you want to become a Patreon or YouTube member, there'll be links after this video or in the description. And it really helps me out, it really does. Also helps the algorithm, yeah. Even if you only pay $1 a month, it boosts everything. All right, on with the video. Now, the Vosper. We'll have a look at that first. We'll put the launch aside. We'll have a look at the Vosper. Now, it's lovely old Airfix artwork. This kit, I think, it's an old one. It's got to be at least from the 70s, if not earlier. It's what I would call a white box, but it's not a white stripe box. A white stripe box, yeah, you'd be getting one from probably the 60s or very early 70s. This will be late 70s or 80s. But still, that's nearly half a century ago, the same as the e-boat. So it's in the same ballpark. We can compare them. All right, so what I have done is I have quickly done a dry fit, and it's not easy, mind you, a dry fit of the hull and the deck, because you get a lower piece and then you get these side pieces and they really wobble about, and it's sort of a very funny conflagration, trying to get them to actually do something. And yeah, so being a Vosper, it's got quite a wide beam, and so that's a good size to work on. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So how big is that compared to the German e-boat, I hear you ask? Well, let's have a look. And here's one I made before. Well, no, this is the dry fit that I quickly did. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. Yes, the German fast boats, right? Well, the Vosper's almost wider. That's interesting. They've got bigger beam, but you can see that when you compare the two, yes. The German e-boat is a big, long thing. The Vosper's sort of a bit stubbier, but it's 2/3 the length, probably more like 3/5 the length. Yeah, well, this is 500 and this is just over 300 millimeters. Yeah, it's 3/5 the length. So okay, it's a little bit less bang for your bucks. But is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Not really. I mean, your detail and your scale are going to be the same, and Airfix does a lovely job. Especially this is, pretty old kit, but it's nice plastic. It really is. It's the same plastic as on that e-boat, and nothing like the new sort of curry flavour plastic that's so soft. I love the old Airfix plastic. It's nice, it's firm, it's great to work with, it glues together well. And because these kits are in the early days of the moulds, they're fairly crisp. You can see. Can you see any flash? Not really. Nothing there. Everything is lovely, beautifully moulded. All right. Beautifully done. Okay, if you really look hard, yes, you'll find the odd little bit of flash on an edge or something. But look, that's easy enough to clean off. And the portholes, oh, no, I think it's just fine rims. First I thought it was flash. No, they're just really nicely moulded. So this thing, old Airfix kits, sure, there's tiny bits of flash here and there, and people go, they're terrible. That's just a little bit of cleanup. That's what you did in those days. Nothing wrong with them. That is a lovely hull. That it's going to be a bit fiddly to put together. Yeah, that construction method. I think it was made so that you could go waterline. So if you left the bottom of the hull off, you could do the thing as a waterline in case you were doing war games or something, But if you wanted to put it in the bath, you make it full hull. Yep. And as with all Airfix kits from this period, I think even to date, it's always a top opening box, which is lovely. You know, none of this sideways stupid stuff where it all falls out. Revel, I'm talking about you. And some of the other makers, I think even Little Scary sometimes does it. No, nice big top opening box. Cardboard, well, this has been around for a while. You can see it's kind of wobbly. I forget where I got this one from. I think I bought it sort of overseas. It had been around and ended up in China. Anyhow, what do you get? Well, the Airfix instructions. Now, you know it's an old kit when the instructions are yellow. The camera is trying desperately to white balance there, but it is yellow. They are quite parchment coloured. So you get the usual thing. Airfix gives you a whole blurb and sort of, you know, a bit of a history, which is nice. And then you get the instructions, and it's what you get for the period. Big exploded drawings, and only a few things get added. So really here we're just concentrating on getting those hull pieces together, which, believe you me, took a while for me to rubber band. They were. You get the venerable Airfix stands, yeah, they're there. The cabin, quite detailed actually, quite a few parts. We'll get to that in a sec. And that goes together. Then you're building up one of the big MGs. There's a big MG on the deck there. You get quite a lot to put it together. You get stanchions there, everything. So, you know, there's quite a bit here. Keep you busy. So you're not sort of thinking, oh, I'm not getting as much as the E-boat. Well, look at all this. You're getting all of this detail to put on. All right, on it goes. Step 5, even more. You start putting that cabin area in. You're adding more and more stuff. And then you start on the torpedoes, right? The torpedo launchers, because obviously they're torpedo boats, you know. So there they are, the torpedo launchers, which will be comparable in size to the ones on the E-boat. But they're going to look huge here on this tiny little Vosper. So there you go. So more of that. Some other bits and pieces. A little hut there for making cups of tea. Yes, because, you know, they're pommies. They make a little cup of tea. Would you like a cup of tea? Yeah, Jerry won't be here for a while. We'll just make a cup of tea while we load these torpedoes. Yes, that's what they did. Hello, Poms. I love you. I love you. Yeah, just having fun with you, not at you. So, yeah, more stuff goes in the stern. And then, and this always annoys me, that then they put in the bit for doing the hull. I mean, you've added all this fine detail all over here. The last thing you want to do is turn your model over and put it upside down on your bench and stick this on. No. I mean, I do all that first. The hull, everything gets done. The rudders, the things, although I might leave the rudders and props off the last minute. But prop shafts or anything like that, I'll pretty well do those first and get them done. Paint that all up. Then it's on its stand. And I don't always use the Airfix stands. I prefer the little brass ones, which end up costing us about as much as the kit. But yeah, that's sort of a crazy idea. With all my ships, I will do all this pretty early on and make sure it's all painted well before I get to the deck. And then you've got a whole antenna thing here happening. This will be their radar system and their searchlight. No doubt they'll be as thin as they can be for this period. We'll have a look at those in a sec. And look, we've even got some figures here. So we've got, you know, Megsy and Bigsy and, you know, Michael and Stuart. And they're all there, yes. And a colour scheme, bit of a camo thing to sort of add. So that's nice. That looks really good. And you get flags and all the rest of it. And your colour callouts, as always, were sort of in enamel Humbrol in those days. But it's easy enough. There's heaps of conversion programs out there you can convert. Now, what I did when I got this kit, because everything was loose and running around the box, is I found a plastic bag for it, sealed it all up and sealed it tight, okay? And this is the thing. At least with this kit, it's of an age where the sprues are actually in rectangles, right? You know anything about the older Airfix kits, they're just on trees that are wide open and stuff just flies off in every direction and snaps. So at least being in a box, you can sort of put it in a bag and hold it tight, put it away for them when you want to build it. So they, all I'm saying is they survive longer. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. I haven't opened this since I bought it a few years back. Took a bunch of cells. Smoke them if you've got them. Yep. Okay, so. Alright, that's all done. The decals, yes, the decals. The water slide transfers, yep, they're a bit lello. They're a bit lello, but I could put them out in the Australian sun and they would probably dry up. Flags, they're nice. You can still cut those out. Put them on a bit of aluminium foil and bend them in any shape you like. Although I usually, I think that paper, the paper's pretty thick. You can pretty well glue them together with Aqua here, like PVA white wood glue. And then bend them to nice little curvy shapes. Oh, look, the Airfix Modelers Club. Are you a member? No, I should join. Although, God knows where this will go to now. I don't think they're actually there anymore. Mightn't be. Anybody tell me? Is Airfix still there? I don't think they are. Eh? Haldane Place, London? Don't think so. I think they moved operations. Clear parts? Yes. So you're getting all the little portholes. Aren't they cute? They're tiny. Okay, and you're getting various other things. They're probably on the deck for hatches that light through. And there's a couple of little parts there that they, looks like the previous owner of this, or it might even be me, have put there because they've fallen off the sprue. That's not much. I mean, usually when you get an old Airfix kit, parts are falling off everywhere. It's just a big mess. So what do we get? Oh, there's a stand. Typical Airfix stands. They're okay and they work well, but I don't like them particularly. So they've got a bigger one here. This will probably be towards the bow, where it's sort of the hull comes up a bit. But look, can you see flash? I'm not seeing any. No, it's very well moulded. Okay, move everything out the way so you can see. Very clean, very clear, very crisp. I mean, even look at the MGs. You know, I usually buy metal barrels and that sort of thing, but they are very nice indeed. Now here's the antennae, right, for the radar. They're actually, for the scale, they're pretty good. I mean, you get away with them. They're not bad at all. Tiny little bit of flash around the edges there, but I mean, you just sand it off. It's no big deal. It's not like a Revel kit. I mean, that Revel Bounty, the dead eyes were just one big mass of flash. It took me a day of cutting and chiseling out all the flash, you know. But you do it. You do it. If you're a modeler, it's all par for the course. So the parts on this are very good. They're really nice. I mean, there'd be modern kits which would be in worse states. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Zvezda. I'm looking at you, Italeri. Yeah. Okay, it's not Tamiya. Airfix was never Tamiya. Totally different market. Sure, you're going to have things like this. You've got injection points, right? Ejection points, yeah, on all the props. So you wanted to sand those. But it's a flat surface. It's easy enough to do. And again, that's modelling. That's what you do. You've got ejection points here, but they'll be on the inside, right? So on the outside, where you've got all the detail, fine. So nothing worse than Italeri again, putting injection points right where you see it on the kit. Yeah. Fiat. The 500, yes. So again, ejection point, but on this side, lovely and clear. These look like sort of life rafts or something, or life preservers. And they are very, very nicely moulded. So look, the kit is quite lovely, and the plastic is firm. Like, this is firm. This is not just soft, bendy plastic. So it's quite good. That'll be the base for your MG, and there will be parts in here for that machine gun, sure. These are your torpedo launchers. They're not quite as large as the one on the Schnellboat. The ones on the Schnellboat, well, one, they're hidden, and you only really see the torpedoes. But they're not too bad. I don't wonder if we get any torpedoes. Have a look at that in a sec. Here's all your figures. Yeah. Airfix always gave you figures pretty well with all the kits, you know, if they were a reasonable scale. So look at that, there he is. Megsy, Mopsy, yeah, Fred, Alfred, and Biggles. They're all there. Yeah. And our last sprue, again, ship's wheel, no flash there. So you can build this out of the box, and there's very minimal cleanup, really. You can find some cleanup on this. It'll only be like on edges and things like that. It'll take you seconds. I mean, even look at this as a big ring, which that would be around the MG, no doubt. And again, more aerials, clean as a whistle. Masts, very good. It's a beautiful kit. I'd love to build this tomorrow, but I have too much on my plate. But there you go. I thought you'd like to see it. So that's the Vosper. It's a really nice looking kit. So let's have a quick look at the launch. During the break, I did some research, as I should have done. The e-boat kit I have is a 1975. That Vosper we just looked at, 1976. And this R.A.F. rescue launch is a 1978. So they're all roughly from that same period, within a few years of each other. Same sort of plastic, same sort of thing out of Blighty. So yeah, early to mid-70s, one of my favourite periods for Airfix kits. And I was young then, I was building them, and I enjoyed a lot of them, but I've never built these ones, no. All the kits I built. So again, same sort of box, lovely, typical Airfix sort of stuff, you know. I'm not going to go too much detail on that. Again, same sort of instructions, okay. Yep, a lot of blurb on this one. They give you a full 2 paragraphs, because these were used, to the best of my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, to pick up the downed pilots, like when the pilots had crashed into the channel there, you know, after being shot down by Messerschmitts, right, and the rest of it. These launchers would zoom out really quickly and rescue the floating pilot. That's my understanding of why it's called an R.A.F. rescue launch. Let's see, rescue launch, right? There you go. So these guys really used to do their stuff. You know, they used to work hard to get out there in seconds before the pilots drowned. Same sort of thing. You've got the same sort of three-piece hull. Oh, this doesn't have the bottom. No. Oh, I tell a lie. I tell a lie. Two halves, which is kind of normal and transom. Relief, sheer joy, much easier to put together. And look at this. Maybe they learnt over those first few years. Put the prop shafts and the screws and the rudders on now. Step 2. Brilliant. That's what I would do. Makes more sense to get that all done. You can paint that all up, flip it over, sit it on your bench, and then you can work on everything from the deck upwards. That's how I build boats. So there you go. You've got your deck. It's pretty plain, but we'll have a look at that in a sec. You've got a very small business here for the housing, but I think more and more gets added. Yes, look at that. We get more and more added to that. And same as the other kit, lots of things. We do have really fancy looking machine guns here, which are sitting in little binnacles. They almost look like the same ones that are on top of my Sunderland. So that'll be interesting. That'll be fun to do. We've got a whole section here, midships actually, which is where those machine guns fit, okay? So obviously, because these are guys going out in the thick of it, right? There's, you know, dogfights and everything happening all around them, and pilots are coming down. So when they go out to rescue, they could be under fire as well. So obviously, they've got dedicated machine gun guys in their enclosed turrets there, so they're fully weatherproof, and they are trying to protect both the boat and the pilot who's gone down. So, you know, got your usual big machine gun on the back, same as a Vosper. So that's your big weatherproof area that's underneath the turrets. So no doubt they're sort of set up so they can feed them ammunition. Everything's weatherproof. It doesn't matter how bad the seas are that day and how much the boat's rolling around. Everything's protected. And also, if you've got a down pilot, you want to bring them in, you may need to, you know, have a doctor there to do stuff. So these were specialty built boats for that purpose of rescuing pilots. So big foldy out thing, as Airfix did back then. Step 13, you finally put the deck in with everything on, right? On it goes. And the trick here is to paint as you go. Of course, if you're building this with kits, you'd paint the deck in what's in pieces, and you'd paint all your little ancillaries and all the greebles separately. You know, you'd mask out your canopies and everything, paint them separately, and then you assemble things as they're painted. Some people think you can just sort of build these kind of kits, paint them afterwards. You can, but it's bloody hard. It's very hard. It's easier to paint as you go. Paint things, assemble, paint and assemble. And there you go again. Lots to do. So there's quite a bit to do on this one, and it's a lot different to the Vosper, so it's worth having. That's why I thought I'd get both. And then you're moving into the final stages here. 21, you're putting on, looks like some life preservers, those sort of things. Okay, they're going on there. And finally, you've got a little bit of rigging to do. That'll be fun. A little rigging to do, and you've got one little flag. One little rescue flag. And again, you have got figures. Megsy, Bigsy, Smegsy, and Andrew. Yep, they're all there. They're there. And 4 painting guides. So you've got a couple of different versions to do, which is kind of pretty. One with the checkerboard looks sort of nice, if they provide a decal for that. So yeah, so lovely little kit. Would be a lot of fun to produce. Now, this one's in a bag, and I'm really hesitant to take it out of the bag. The hull is about the same size as the Vosper, so I don't need to do that. But it is in 2 halves instead of having the bottom section separate, so it will be easier to put together. I really don't like to unbag an original kit in its original bag, and the beauty is nothing's fallen out of this. So the part quality, I'll just let you know, it's about the same, okay? You're getting the same sort of part quality. It's very well moulded, very thin. You've got the same sort of figures that are not bad for Airfix, and overall it's the same sort of experience, and it's a lot of fun. So, you know, if you can find a white box version from the 70s of this kit, they're well worth getting. Yes, those decals are very yellow. They may come up in the sun, or you can just buy some aftermarket sort of things, you know. You can buy checkerboards, you can buy letters, you can do all that. Rondels you can get. And there's a flag. Yep. So you get a little R.A.F. rescue flag. Isn't that lovely? So I think this is a sweet little kit. I really do. So there you have it. 2 classic kits from Airfix from the mid-70s, and they still stand up today. They're crisp, they're clean, very little flash to remove. Injection points, those sort of things are mostly hidden. You wouldn't have to worry about them. You could build them out of the box and they will be fine. The instructions, easy to follow. I always find Airfix easy to follow. But then again, I grew up with Airfix, so they make sense to me. So that's just my opinion on that one. But I still think they're very clear instructions. If you get confused by Airfix instructions, go and buy a Dragon kit. Yeah, then tell me about confusing instructions. But look, These are lovely. You got to hunt around. Their prices have been really going up to stupid levels. I bought mine for a few shekels each, so they weren't that bad. But I mean, you know, it's nothing to pay $100 for one of these kits these days. So if you can see something in a reasonable price you can afford, and if this is a subject you like, snap them up. They really are nice. And one day, you know, you put them in your stash. One day when you get to build them, I really think you're going to enjoy them. David Eves just recently built his e-boat, which is the same as mine, and he had a ball building it. And I'll build my e-boat and these, you know, in a few years' time when I retire. So there you go. That's it. That's my review of these two lovely little kits from Airfix. And as usual, down the bottom there, the compulsories. Look, please click the like. It helps the algorithm. You know, make a comment, be nice about it, that sort of thing. Subscribe, all those sort of things. They really help my channel out. And if you've got bags of money, buy me a curry. It's just a donation thing, so that rather than, you know, like YouTube taking more than 50% of everything that supposedly goes through, I actually get to seize the money, and therefore I can do things on this channel. Yep, just a blatant grab for cash, I know, but somebody's got to pay for this bloody thing. All right, that's it. I'll be getting back to the Sunderland in the next video, but I thought I'd just get this out so you've got something for this weekend, and you'd have a look at these lovely old classic kits from Airfix. So that's it. Goodbye from Australia, and it's hooroo from Harry Houdini.